Let's take a look at a task-based application. I'm going to the developer site at Apple, and I'm going to analyze the process for developers to sign in. I have several accounts and a lot of experience with this site, so I'm fortunate and I know how they work. Okay, I have now signed in, and I have my membership center here. One thing that is of interest is that this is not the email that I signed up with. And it's interesting because when I go back to change it, I have to re-sign in again. This is one of the things that's sort of bothered me since I first started with this. And this site actually has had some security issues, so I can realize why they're exceptionally tight. But as I scroll down, there are some really questionable functionalities inside this section. For example, if I click on Renew Now, I clicked on Renew Now for Safari, and look what happened. It's third in the offerings for renewal. So that's just another interesting thing to me. I do like the fact that there's no navigation here, although it would be really frustrating to most users. And what they want to do is make sure you get through with your task. So when I continue this, that's a solid thing, even though it might frustrate some people. I do the same thing with my e-commerce sites. I remove navigation on the checkout so that people aren't inclined to be distracted and then leave that checkout. But I've noticed that Apple, who's notorious for good usability with their devices, has some real interesting things inside here. And often you can not even leave the site and go back, and you will be logged out automatically. So it's just really interesting. In fact, if you go to, let's go to register for developer Apple. This is a common functionality for this. And it's really interesting because I'm signed up with the same site, and this is actually a nice improvement, how they've recognized that I am indeed registered. So many sites don't often do that. So overall, pretty solid, except for the fact that it sort of points you in the right way. For example, I just signed up for this, and to maintain your program benefits, it says renew your memberships, which I just did on this screencast. And one of the reasons I chose this site is because I've noticed through my time here that a lot of the different elements of the site don't seem to communicate with each other. So when you do a task-based analysis, let's say you're doing it for case study, you're going to want to screencast a lot. You're going to want to basically go through different pathways, user pathways, of all the processes that site offers. And you'll be surprised, even the best, like Apple, will have some things off. But I will say this. I analyzed this last year, and that was much more seamless than it was last year. So that's a task-based analysis.